Okay, hope you're all doing well. I thought I'd just do a quick video on the latest addition to the Market Mastery suite of premium indicators. We have just released the latest, which is a DR tool. So it's the defining range strategy, which is taught in the Market Mastery 3 course. If you want to know more about the ins and outs of that particular strategy, I suggest you have either purchased the course, or if you haven't already, if you have already purchased the course, then it is in the last session of the course. It's run by Dax, and yeah, he goes through some of his trading scenarios and some of the ways to trade it. I will touch on that briefly at the end of this, but this is primarily to go through the settings and so everyone understands how to set things up, and particularly the alert system and how that works. I always put a fair bit of effort into getting the alerts set up so that you can set and forget, and then when you get the alert, you can open up the charts and work out why you've got the alert and whether there is a nice trading opportunity for you. So anyway, getting into it, this is the last 24 hours, and I'll just delete some of this crap off the screen. And so I'm just going to go through firstly the alert setup. So you can see here there's various little markers on the screen, and they actually come through as alerts if you set them up. So the easiest way to do this, and what I would recommend first, is just go over to the little clock, click on the plus, go down to the Market Masters DR, and then this first one that comes up is the general alert, all conditions. So it'll basically alert when the like a DR high or a DR low has occurred. So when it's broken through the actual defining range, and it will alert you every time it crosses through one of these levels. So it's good to know when you're getting, if it sweeps through the retirement zone here or through the midline, and you might be wanting to trade that, it'll come through as an alert. If you feel like you're getting too many alerts, or you only want to trade, maybe you only want to trade the opening price, which is this kind of pinky line here, or the retirement setup, you can actually you can set up the retirement in there, and the opposite breaks and things like that, so that you don't get too many alerts. Basically, so that's that. I should explain the other important thing is, if you set it to only once, it'll only trigger once and then turn off. So make sure you either do once per bar or once per bar closed. That'll mean it will just be continuously sending you alerts every time one of those conditions occurs. So yeah, look, I've already got them all set up here, all the individual ones, because I was testing, but that's you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so now I'm just going to go through some of the settings. So you can see here where it's the weekend at the moment, and we're just coming into the ADR. So one of the things we've set up, I'm going to skip forward to this just because I started talking about it, is that we can set this to only record the weekdays, which is, I guess, the basis of the strategy, is that you've got at the first hour of a market opening, then you have people entering trades or positioning, and that somehow dictates what the market will do. I'm not going to go into the exact details of why that occurs, but yeah, go and watch the video on that if you want further information. So one good thing about this is that we actually have the real stats, and this is one of the things that was missing from other DR tools out there, was some nice stats. So this has already led me to make some changes in the way that we've set this up, and actually go and work out why the stats were looking as bad as or as good as they were. So you can see here with we're on Ethereum at the moment, so this works on all the majors, I think. Been testing with Solana as well, so yeah, I wouldn't be too scared of giving that a go on some other coins and just seeing exactly yeah what the stats look like, and maybe there is an opportunity to use this trading system. So these buttons here, you can turn them off if they get annoying or in the way, and you don't really care because you already know that you're going to have a low success rate of 81%. If you're in the DR session or the it's actually the RDR session, I need to fix that. So yeah, don't worry about that. I'll get that sorted out shortly. So what that means is, yeah, if it was to break low in the RDR session, then it's an 81% chance that it won't trade back above that defining range. With the stats, you can move them around. So if you wanted to move the stats up here somewhere, yeah, well, that would be rather annoying, but yeah, you can do that. I just prefer them down the bottom left because that's normally a place where there's not much going on. You can set this success criteria for either the wick or the close. So the general rule is that it won't close below that value or above that value, depending on which way you're going. So, like in this case, this was classified as a held because it wicked through but didn't close above. If I change that to wick, you'll see that it says that it's not held because it wicked through that value. Anyway, and that you can see the stats yeah, change significantly because you get quite a few wick throughs of the DR level. So that's one thing to note. So yeah, from 60% to 81% for the regular session. Okay, so moving on from that, there's really just some colors and lines set up. So there's just control how the lines look and all that sort of stuff. So that's all pretty boring. You can play around with that if you want. This here adds the letters to the session. Not really necessary while you're actually trading it, but if you're doing a bit of back testing or looking at previous sessions, it's always nice to have that there just to give you an idea of which one you're looking at and what the percentage might be down here. Some other things that you can do here is I like to just keep these on with the label. So I've changed this so that you can just either select small labels, so it just puts like a label there, the same as these other labels, or if you want it to tell you what's occurred there, then it's easier to sort out which is which from there. The other thing you can also do is change these to long labels, so all these other levels, when they break through a particular level, so they wick through, or you'll get not only will you get an alert for that if you've got your alert set up, but you'll also yeah, it'll also put these little tags there for the low price or the high price respectively. I normally just leave it to the small markers to declutter the chart a bit. You can also turn them off completely if you're not really interested. But yeah, I normally leave the small markers on. One of the other features here is you'll see that there is no lines drawn on this one because we didn't actually break high or break low. So it only draws the lines after the break occurs, and it only draws them in the direction that you need to be trading. So just a feature I've put in there to sort of declutter the chart a bit because it can get pretty crazy. Yeah, so that's that. I'll go back to this. So next thing is just really the session details. I spoke about the weekdays only. So yeah, play around with that a bit. Like it really is meant to only be a sort of a during day session or normal trading hours. This was sort of developed for, but with 24-hour markets, that's a bit, I guess, a bit more dubious as to whether it's really that important or not. Depends on who's trading. Obviously, people trade 24/7 on markets open 24/7. But look, have a play around with that. Have a look at the stats. See if you think that's something you want to think about. The rest of this is really just to set up where your regular defining sessions are and the overnight and the Asian session. So you'll see here I've got it selected New York time. So the beauty of this is if you select New York, you don't need to change for daylight savings. It will automatically work out when the daylight savings occurs and changes the time for you. So these times will just stay the same, but the actual where it comes on the chart is then different. If you want to override that, you certainly can. So you can just set it to whatever your chart time frame is, or I put the New York times in there. So depending on daylight savings or not, if you want to do that. Same goes with the overnight. So you can keep it to London. Same deal. It will automatically change with daylight savings or not. And you can change those. I've added New York here because some people do prefer to have their chart on New York time, especially if you're in New York. I would have thought that that would be sensible. So you can set it to the New York chart, your chart time or New York, and set the times appropriately. Yeah, I think that London's setting that so then you can just set it to the actual trading times for the exchanges. One thing to note here with Singapore, you can change between Tokyo, Hong Kong, Singapore. Haven't found much success with Tokyo, but yeah, we seem to do better with the Singapore and Hong Kong times, and just playing around with this has actually led me to realise that it's actually significantly better to extend the DR out to 1.5 hours, and so that covers the Hong Kong first hour of the Hong Kong then as well, because Singapore is sort of half an hour different, and Shanghai is like 15 minutes different. But anyway, that's just something I found out recently. Anyway, yeah. So, and you can obviously just turn these off if you don't want to trade these particular ones. If you only care about the Asian session, then you can yeah, declutter your chart by just turning the others off. And equally, if you just want to trade the ODR and the ADR, which is what I'm doing because I don't wake up that early to trade. So yeah, that's a useful feature. One thing to note though is if you do change the finishing times of your ADR, you need to align it with the start time of the extension, and this goes for all of them. So if you are playing around with the times, just make sure you get these lined up because it will give you some dubious results. I can't unfortunately automate this. It's just the way TradingView's set up for these sort of session times. At the moment, if I find a way, I will definitely change that in one of the future releases. That's about it for the setups. Just going to go through some of these trades. Turn that back on. So you can see here we had the region defining range. So that's the New York session. The defining range was dictated by this time zone here, or time session bracket there. So that's that. So straight away we had a break above, which is not always the case, obviously. Sometimes it just mucks around a bit in the middle there. So once we have that break, then we have a according to our stats down here, we have the DR, high success rate. So once we have a break above, we have a 64% chance of it not trading below this DR line, which is this line here. As you can see here, that it traded down through the 50% line. So this is 50% of between the IDRs, so between that and that. And also nicely wicked through our retirement line. So that some nice good trade signals there. So if you had made that trade, um, yeah, you could probably put your stop just under here, or set an alert just in case it wicks through, which it does quite regularly. And yeah, up to the first multiple. Yeah, that's giving you a R4 risk to reward, so that's not too bad. And yeah, similarly, we have a break low here. Um, this is a good example of just how the stats work, and how it's not a guarantee, and you need to sort of manage your trades a little bit better than just clicking the go button. So we broke low here, and it traded right back up. It wicked through the DR line, so that would have been a nice trade opportunity there. And then it's come down to, but it hasn't traded any multiples of the DR there. So, but in saying that, if you did actually enter a trade, say you entered a trade on this candle here, and you put your stop above the wick, and you trade it out the session, or maybe you let it run a bit longer. You're still doing a 2-to-1, or over a 3-to-1 in that, if you're able to actually trade right down to the bottom. I'd say that'd be quite rare that you actually pick that, but you never know. You might be a better trader than me. And yeah, another feature here that we should discuss is there's no lines on this one, and that's because we've set this to it only draws the lines after the break. So if it breaks in the low direction, it will draw the standard multiples low, and will put all your lines in the middle. But if it doesn't, then it just stays like that. And then just to avoid cluttering up your chart, just in case you're trying to trade some other style, some other system, you can actually yeah, just turn them off completely if you're finding the multiples are a bit too bit cluttered for your liking. And so you're just getting the open and the standard lines. So yeah, that's about it with that. So yeah, that's about all I want to explain in today. So if you have any other questions, hit me up in Discord, or yeah, maybe we can do a live session, live discussion to set everybody up. But yeah, look, as it is with the standard setup, is the way I've started trading it, and yeah, I've been relatively successful so far. So just going to sort of fine tune some of the entry techniques, and yeah, let's go from there. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I will hopefully happy trading. See ya.